Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, today's a very special episode. We have a return guest, Patrick Laing, on the line, and he's founder and CEO over at Certainty Management. And he's also an author, a co-author of one of our Mission Matters books, a return guest and just an advocate for Mission Matters that I surely appreciate, who's been with us really almost from the beginning. It's been many years now. Patrick, man, so good to see your face and welcome back to the show.
Always a pleasure, my friend. It's good to be back.
All right, so we got a lot to talk about today. I know we've had some back discussions about some of the projects you're working on. Also, you have another book coming out. I want to talk about that as well, and what you've been doing in the hydrogen space and AI, and talking about solving some of those problems that are going to be on the horizon, are actually already here when it comes to creating the energy and the power needed to sustain these data centers for AI and the growth of what's going to happen next and what's currently happening. So we got a lot to talk about today. But Patrick, you already know the drill. For those that don't, we start every episode with what we like to call our Mission Matters Minute. So, Patrick, at Mission Matters, our aim and our goal is to amplify stories for entrepreneurs, for executives, for experts. That's what we do. Patrick, what mission matters to you?
I have several, but if I had to pick one, it's to help create certainty in the lives of our clients. We say in their lives and in their businesses. We do that in several ways. As you know, I own a number of companies. Certainty Management's a consulting firm. Certainty Global is our technology firm.
Yeah.
We just started a company called Certainty Veterans to help veterans get their benefits and their back pay. But it's all about creating more certainty in their lives. That's my brand, that's my mission, and it's really my biggest goal is to do that for as many others.
Love having you back on, and I love bringing mission-based entrepreneurs and executives on here to share why they do what they do, how they're doing it, and really what we can all learn from that so we all benefit and grow together. So again, great having you back on. And I guess just to get us going here, I want to get into some of the updates and some of the things you've been working on. So first off, when I've known you for how many years have we known each other now? It's been like three,
I've
four,
lost
five.
track. It's been at least 3 or 4.
Yeah, it's
Might be pushing
moving.
5 now, Adam.
Yeah, and I don't think I've had you on the show for a solid year or so. So, if I just want to get into the book. Like, I know you have a new book coming out, or I should say, a second edition of the book called "Empower AI." Take me back to the beginning. Where did this project start from, and really, where did it come from?
I think you were the first book or series that invited me to
Hmm.
contribute, right? I did one chapter on accountability and, was on the cover there with you, and I think I even helped write the introduction, but
Yeah, yeah, you did.
following that, I was invited to be in another one called The Visionary CEO with Jason Miller, another
Mm,
one called Business Culture, and then, that evolved into this latest project doing this book. We call it a playbook for governors or for policymakers, but it's called Empower AI.
mm,
The biggest book. I've been a co-author of the entire book, not just a chapter, so
yeah.
that's been fun, but it is just one of those projects where we are in the right place, right time, and,
Mm,
we're excited about what it can do and what it can mean for all of us, involved, so
mm. So now you get into this, the AI side of things, and you're talking about Empower AI. What now? I know, understand there was a first edition, then now the second edition is coming out. Where did that happen? Like, talk about the company and all of that piece of it.
sure. So through our, consulting firm, Certainty Management, we, help our clients to improve their profitability, or what's known as an, efficiency firm. One of the divisions, we have 10 divisions, and one of those is focused on energy, helping our clients reduce their power costs. Well, that blossomed into this relationship with our sustainable, energy provider, with our facilitation team. It just
Mm,
grew into this partnership and this ecosystem that we didn't even imagine, right? For one,
mm,
AI is obviously the hottest topic on
yeah.
everyone's lips right now. Every time we turn around, we're hearing our government leaders and others saying They're considering every option, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm.
It's a big deal, right? We're seeing it more and more in our lives, but there's an enormous bottleneck and when it comes to powering AI, right?
Mhm.
A lot of pushback from people who they're worried their rates are going up. They're already seeing their rates go up.
Mm.
They're talking about building 60 new coal fire plants or starting up nuclear, and a lot of people don't like that.
Yeah.
A lot of pushback, a lot of environmental lawsuits, and so forth. And so, as I was saying, we're in the right place, right time because we do have a solution. That's what our book talks about.
Mm.
Phase approach that can address the need for AI for powering AI without
Mhm.
all of the upstream and downstream uh, challenges or dilemmas that so many other options are causing.
Now, I understand the book is kinda laid out in roughly, and correct me if I'm off on this, in basically like 3 major parts. Like, there's kinda like 3
Right.
different themes that run through the books. Let's tackle them one at a time. Maybe start at the first theme.
Sure. There are three phases, as we call it.
Phases, there you go. I knew there's another word there. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
The first one is really the foundation because everyone's looking for energy right now. They're considering lots of options, solar,
Mm.
wind, and even nuclear and so forth. But our preferred methodology, our preferred technology is hydrogen power.
Mm.
Come a long ways over the last half a century, right? Our partner in that space, our sustainable energy provider. They've been in the energy realm for 50 plus years. They've been in hydrogen for over 20 years
Yeah.
and they're doing some really extraordinary things. So the first phase talks about how hydrogen can produce the power that we need, do so very quickly, very safely.
Mm.
We like the fact it's a carbon neutral power source, so there's no emissions, right? It can
Mm.
actually be carbon negative if you use, depending on the feedstock. So
Yeah.
I didn't know a lot about it a year ago or 2 years
Yeah.
ago. I've
Why,
learned
and I wanna stick on that for a moment. Why do you think that it doesn't get more media attention or just attention in the? Because when you say this, hydrogen's been one of those things that keeps on coming up for me. It gets comes to my radar through interviews just like this, and then it kinda like you hear other things in the news all the time. Why do you think it doesn't get more play?
It's interesting. It's because I think more than anything, the industry, utilities in general, but
Mm.
power and these various providers, they don't do a lot of advertising. There's
Mm.
no billboards, there's no marketing campaigns, solar is maybe the
Yeah.
one that's done a lot of that type of thing because they're marketing to consumers.
Yes, yes, that makes sense.
Hydrogen powers, these are utility scale, base load hydrogen projects that are billions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
They're not selling individual homeowners where you have to do that kind of marketing campaign. They're selling cities and states and AI
Mm.
data centers and
Yeah.
those manufacturers, defense installations and the like. So it's a completely different animal.
Hmm. Alright, so that's phase 1. Let's get into what phase 2 is in the book.
Sure. We refer to it as energy efficiency, and it is the crux of the book. The first chapter talks about hydrogen. Then the rest of the book, for much of it, talks about how we believe there is no such thing as an energy shortage. We are
Mm.
not utilizing our energy correctly. Okay, we call it energy wastage. Energy Star states that we waste about 10 to 30% of all of the power that is flowing into our commercial buildings as we speak.
That's a huge number.
Very big. Yeah, it's significant. And today, there is software and hardware and AI itself that can measure and manage and monitor and recapture that power that's being wasted and then redistribute it back into the grid to help power AI and other things. And so
Mm.
it's simple things. It can be like just making sure the lights are turned off at night rather than keeping them on.
Yeah.
AI can monitor those things, automatically turn them off, and save you who knows how much every year, right? And so
Mhm.
a lot of those things, whether it's heating and cooling systems or faulty insulation or there's a lot
Mm.
of different elements that go into that. But this energy efficiency piece is very big because we do need to build more infrastructure. AI One AI data center requires the same amount of power of tens of thousands of homes,
Mm.
and our grid can't handle it, right? We're
Yeah.
already maxed, and so when they're bringing a data center in, two things happen: either all of the rates go up and everybody else has to pay for it,
Right.
or now that President Trump has deregulated power in many of the states, you're seeing data centers are being told you have to become your own power center,
Interesting. Hmm.
your own power plant, if you will. And that's good news for the constituents because they're not going to see their rates go up as quickly
Hmm.
at all potentially. It's bad news for the data centers because they're all scrambling to try to find out where they can find power that will actually work, right? A lot of them are using gas turbines and they're trying to do solar and so forth and so on. But hydrogen
Yeah.
is such an elegant solution. I'll just give you one example as a
Mm.
comparison. To produce 500 megawatts of power with hydrogen, we need about 10 acres of land. We can
Mhm.
put it up in about 14 months or less, and we can produce that very quickly, a very small footprint. If you compared that to solar, it would take years to install, and you would
Yeah.
need 2,500 acres of solar.
Yeah.
So, it's like a no-brainer, right? You
Yeah,
2,500
that's a lot
acres
of
or
acreage, yeah.
10 acres, right? Years to install it or maybe a year, right, to get it up and running with a shovel-ready project. So,
Right.
there's just no comparison from that standpoint. They're both green, supposedly, right? They're both
Mhm.
carbon neutral projects, but if you can it comes down to time to power, the footprint, the different feedstocks, like how are you operating it? What are the
Mhm.
byproducts? The biggest byproduct of hydrogen is potable water. So it's actually creating more water,
Mm.
producing power. So there's a lot of interesting elements to it.
What kind of feedback do you get when you approach these, these data centers or other individuals that could be potential users of this hydrogen and things? Because obviously, when you say these numbers, it's like 10 acres versus 2,500 uptime, less than a year, more, and then for other project or alternative, maybe more than a year. Like it seems kind of like obvious. Like I'm curious, what response do you get to this?
Yeah, it's very interesting. I've been in sales my entire career, 40
Hmm.
years. Always had to chase the sale, chase the
Yeah.
customer, right? And ask for a big deposit or financing or whatever.
Hmm.
Since we got into this space, customers are chasing us, right? We went to a conference about a month ago in Waikiki. It's called PTC 26, stands for
Yeah.
Pacific Telecom 26. Used to be about 90% telecom and 10% AI and compute. Now it's 90% AI and about 10% telecom.
Hmm.
We were there for 3 days, Adam, and we came home with 127 new relationships. Right.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
people who heard what we're doing and threw their card out the elevator as it was closing and said, "Call me," right? It was the most interesting because this is a fairly new space for us, right? It's the most
Mm.
interesting experience in my entire career, how anxious and eager people are. They're desperately looking for what we have.
Mm.
I say right place, right time. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. I mean, every conversation, two things happen. One, it evolves into more conversations because they say, I have a friend, I have a partner, I know another
Mm.
developer. They're all looking for what you guys have.
Right.
And every conversation, the projects get larger. I've seen this many times over the last few months. They come and they say, we're looking for 50 megawatts of power.
Mm.
But when they start talking to us and understand our capacity and what we do, they say, well, we actually want 10 gigawatts of power, but we didn't think we could even come close to doing that. So we see those two things happen. More
Mm.
conversations spiral out of the first one, and most of the projects get larger right before our eyes.
Mm. Man, that sounds like good problems to have, Patrick.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's like nothing I've ever experienced.
There's still in the third phase of the book. What's in the third phase of the book?
The legislation, unions, the data center developers, investors,
Mm.
et cetera, it lays out the ways for where that they can work together, right? This is very
Mm.
much a bipartisan need, right? It's across the aisle. The investors want a return as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
The environmentalists want to save the planet. They want carbon neutral solutions, et cetera, et cetera. And this really addresses both of those.
Mm,
The last few chapters of the book talk about working with unions, how policymakers can use this as a platform for their
mm,
political campaigns. Really, just it's funny because we joke about how they're sitting around in conference rooms trying to come up with solutions to this problem,
mm.
and I hate to say it, but many of the ideas they're coming up with are not very good ideas, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, do we really want 60 more coal fire plants built in America, right? And
Mm,
our environment, our pollution levels go through the roof? Probably
right.
not. They're desperate for solutions, and until they come across or stumble across or find out of what is possible with hydrogen, many organizations, I'm surprised they don't know already. I mean, I was surprised
Mm,
how the size of the companies we met. You would know the names.
right.
I was surprised they don't already have this figured it out, but we were like the hot cheerleader at the dance that everyone
Yeah.
wanted to date.
Yeah.
It was the most again, just a really interesting situation, but that's what the last few chapters are, is
Mm,
how do we work together to implement phase 1, the hydrogen
right.
power, and phase 2, the energy efficiency, what we call tuning up the commercial buildings.
Mm.
How do we work together to make it all come to fruition?
What are some of the big the hurdles you see in kind of implementing and going in this hydrogen direction? Is it education? Is it politics? Is it like I don't know? Like what are some of the hurdles that you see that'll be ahead?
You know, I haven't seen a lot of them, honestly.
Mm,
Obviously, for us, it's finding clients that are well qualified, right? We
right.
actually can, depending on the scenario, for qualified clients, we can provide funding for them. We do
Hmm.
what's called our partner in that space will do what's called a power purchase agreement. You can do it with or without blended capital, depending on the scenario.
Mm,
So literally, depending on who the customer is, they can enter this, have it built, funded with zero upfront and zero out of pocket cost.
mm,
They'll even pay for the all of the feedstock, whether it's natural gas that's feeding it, or we can even use things like landfill and wastewater and sewage and methane and even salt water, things like that
mm,
which is great for applications all around the world. But I think that really just for us, the hurdle is making sure we're talking to those who are legitimate projects. They are qualified to take part in it,
yeah.
right? We don't want to waste our time on tire kickers. We don't advertise. Nobody in this industry advertises. It's all word of mouth.
Mm,
They know if they're qualified, but we do occasionally waste our time with people who were just curious, right?
yeah.
And so that's a challenge. And then honestly, the hardest part is getting through all the 127 leads we got 3 weeks ago,
Mm,
calling people back and setting meetings and getting together with them and their boards or their teams. And it's a good problem to have, like you said.
mm.
But we're very busy, and it's pretty exciting, to be honest.
Now, I'm curious about the construction of the book. I know you're a writer. I know that that's a big piece of your background. What was it like to kind of go through the updates? I know this is a second edition that you're part of. What was that piece of it like for you? Like to kind of get all the red marker out there.
Yeah, my degree is in English technical
Yeah,
writing,
I
right?
thought so. I didn't know if it was English or so. Philosophy. I just knew that you're a writer. Writer. Go ahead, please.
Yep. I majored in English because I thought about going to law school. Then
Hmm.
I did sales jobs during the summers and found out I was pretty good at it and decided to stay with it. So
That's the same as me. I didn't know that I was accepted to law school. I did my first sales gig and I was like, wait a minute. Like I just now made basically half that year's salary as a first year like law first year coming on law school. I made it in a sales job and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this. Go ahead, please. I didn't know
exactly,
that about you.
that's it. I was making hundreds of dollars a day in the summers. I'd work for 2 months and
Yeah.
take off the last month, come back to school with money in my pockets, and I thought I'm pretty good at this, and I like it. So that's what
Yeah.
I've done ever since. But so yeah, so the book, our partners in this space, it's the company we work for. They're the deal sourcing company
Mm,
for these large sustainable energy providers that we work with,
mm,
um, and so they had written this book fairly quickly, the first edition, In
Yeah.
in part, I believe it was for a political, it was a policymaker who wanted some information. So they put it into a sort of a manual format. It was about
Right.
50 pages. And when I saw, they said we can use it as a sales tool. And when I saw, they also said we're working on a second or third edition or second edition. We want to write a couple more chapters. We're going to expand some things.
Mm.
And when I looked at it, it was really well written as far as the information was, but there
Mhm.
were typos, there was the
Yeah.
index was lacking, no photos in it, right? No references, no glossary and those types of things. I said, "Do you mind if I help you improve it?" Right? Let's take it to the next level. I said,
Mm.
I have a secret weapon in the fact that my dad's a professional editor, and my mom is a retired honors English professor from Brigham Young University. So
It's in
anything
the
I write,
lineage. Go
I send
ahead.
it to them
It's in
to
the
look at
blood.
too, right? And so that's my secret weapon. But so I spent probably 1,000 hours on the book.
Mm.
Did all the photos in it, the photographical citations, the table of contents, the references, the
Mm.
in addition to editing it and helping write the next few chapters that they added. Now the second edition, which is coming out probably in about 2 weeks, it'll be on Amazon. It's 180 pages and full,
Mm.
right? And just significantly better. They made the cover glossy. They've done a really good job. It's been a joint effort. It hasn't just been me,
Mhm.
but a lot of work that's gone into it, and it's significantly better than it was. A lot of the same information, but just the overall presentation and so forth is just
Mm.
fantastic. So,
Now now I know there's many things and many takeaways you want the readers to have, but if there was one central theme or takeaway, that you want the audience to get that takes away and reads this book, what would that be?
really that the empowering AI. I mean, everyone has different opinions of AI, right?
Mhm.
People think it's going to steal all our jobs, and those of us who know it's going to create far more digital workforce jobs, high-paying
Mm.
jobs. Just like when we went from agricultural to the industrial revolution, it
Yeah.
eliminated some jobs, but it created many more. And so
Mm.
it's going to happen with AI. It's already happening. But the, the the thing is, and obviously we're focused on the power side of it. Our
Right.
message would be, if there was one takeaway, is that there is enough power, right? There is
Mm.
power available more easily, more quickly, without many of the upstream, downstream headaches and challenges or risks. And we
Yeah.
can do it together, right? You don't have to fight the unions. The unions can be involved. There's significant jobs available. The investors don't have to sit and wait for years to get power. I mean, there are data centers right now that are full, completed, full of servers,
Mm.
told it's going to be 3 to 4 years before they get power.
Wow.
You can understand why when they hear from us, we can have it in 6 to 12 months or maybe 18 months, even for
Yeah.
a gigawatt in 18 months. They can't even believe that, right?
Mm.
I mean, we have to overcome skepticism once in a while, right?
Yeah.
But that's but it is very real, and that's music to their ears, right? And so just that message that
Mm.
we can do it. It is the future. It's not going to go away, but let's do it right without
Mm.
ruining our environment, without overwhelming our grid,
Mm.
without fighting each other. The environmentalists and the capitalists, all of them can win with
Mm.
hydrogen, with energy efficiency, and with AI.
Mm.
And it's that's what we're doing, and it's kind of a wild ride, but I'm really enjoying it, and there's enormous opportunity to bless lives
Yeah.
and help it come to pass, right? So it's great.
Wonderful. I can't wait for this new book so I can be as well better educated about hydrogen and really how that fits into the future of energy and creating energy, especially for these data centers. Ooh, there it is. There it is. I'm just curious. Beautiful. What's next? I mean, what's next for you? What's next for certainty management? This project? What's next?
Cost reduction, or what we call our profitability firm, is doing really well in several areas.
Mm.
Energy is going to eclipse everything else we do.
Yeah.
Um, just based on the experience we had at PTC 26, we
Mm.
see the value of attending as many of the AI data center conferences around the world.
Mm.
That will be our focus over the next couple of years, right? You and I have talked a
Yeah.
little bit about what you guys do, and
Hmm.
it's just literally we could walk around with a t-shirt that said "Got Power," and every person there would talk to us, right? It's kind of crazy, right? So that's our plan for the next over the next couple of years to attend at least one conference a year. There's several around the world.
Yeah.
I just gave a keynote speech in Dubai in
Oh, that's
December.
right. How'd that go?
This well, they asked me to come back and speak again in
Come on,
Singapore,
man. Get it.
November, in Dubai next December. So I guess it went okay, but
Mm.
made some great connections. I mean, when I got done, a dozen countries came up to me, people from all over the world, and said, we need what you're doing. When can we meet?"
Mm.
So I tell you, it's like nothing I've ever experienced
I
in my
love it.
professional career.
How do people follow up? How do they learn more? How do they connect with you on this opportunity, on the book, of course, and on certainty management in general? How do they connect?
So you can find us at certaintyteam.com. Our website is currently being updated, so it'll look different in the next few short weeks. But you can call me direct at our office, 888-684-3122.
Yeah,
Again, 888-684-3122. Happy to
fantastic,
talk to anyone who's serious, has a legitimate project, isn't just going to kick tires, right? We're happy to answer questions, but we're very busy, and so we're being very selective about who we spend our time with.
fantastic. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes so you could just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. Yes, you heard me right. Each and every day, we're putting out new content, bringing you new ideas and interviews to hopefully fuel your success and also inspiration. So hit that subscribe and follow button. And Patrick, man, it's been so fun to catch up with you, and thanks for coming back on the show.
Hey man, it's my favorite place to be online. You're what, top 2% now in the world?
Yeah, baby, we've been working.
That is that's incredible. Congratulations.